My neighbors ask me why I'm limping down the way, and who that fella was who came by yesterday. I quickly turn my face before I start to blush, 'cause frankly there is nothing I can say. Down, down, down. I've always had a thing for pushing the extremes, and I just got a thing you won't find in the magazines. This molded silicone has got me begging, please give me more of what I really need, 'cause there is no cock like horse cock. Send your asshole into shock. You need horse cock, of course cock. Grab the lube and slam the day away. My shaft is quivering and my balls are turning blue as I think of drinking in a foot or even two of my favorite stallion that I keep in my top drawer. Slip it in and I'll be dripping goo as I take more cock. Horse cock, shut the door and turn the lock. Is your cock the horse cock? You will never hear me saying nay, 'cause there is no cock like horse cock. Rub my dick inside a sock. Don't stop now, horse cock. Stretch out my insides and make me bray. My lovely horse cock, horse cock. Shoop de doop dap 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 down on a horse cock, my horse cock. Yeah, da 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 da.
Yeah, da, 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 da. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to a Nintendo Prime live stream. Another one coming at you from the Nintendo Prime headquarters. That was Horsecock by, I think, Pepper Coyote. I don't know. It's the theme song of pretty much every live stream we do. Kind of let you know this is not meant for children, as I keep telling Nintendo, my content's not meant for children, and they sometimes are like, oh, but you're talking about Legos. Dude, adults play with Legos. Let's go. All right. We got some Animal Crossing stuff I just want to kind of briefly talk about. It's kind of a general topic because I'm not here to talk about all the latest Animal Crossing news and some of the new features, because there's always new features seemingly announced every single day for that game. It's crazy how much new they're doing with it. But there's been a lot going on in the whole world, right? We all know that about the coronavirus, COVID-19. YouTube's even changed their policies on it, so supposedly we're able to now say the words and talk about it and not be demonetized or be punished as a channel for doing it. So I guess we'll find out during this live stream how much I'm able to do that, and we'll see what YouTube responds after I'm done being live. But it's obviously been upgraded from an epidemic to a pandemic, which means it's now a worldwide issue now. It's not just, considered, only big in China. It's actually big in other countries, much bigger than it is in the U.S. in some cases, in places like Italy, which is on complete lockdown and completely shut down. It's obviously starting to affect us more close to home here, though, in the United States, at least affecting me. There has been a couple cases of it, literally in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. At least a couple confirmed cases. There's probably more than a couple, to be honest, but a couple that have tested positive. And that's literally 12 minutes away from where I am right now. I was actually just in Eau Claire last night at the movie theater with my fiance watching a movie. And you might say, why would you go out in public to do anything like that in the midst of all of this? And that's because no matter what's going on, I firmly believe that you shouldn't stop living your life. You should just take appropriate precautions, whether it's hand sanitizer or when we got into the movie theater, we wiped down our seats before we sat down, all that jazz with some disinfectant wipes or whatever. And obviously, I'm touching my face. I understand, what we're supposed to do to take precautions and all of that. My children's schools aren't canceled yet, so they're still at school every day, being exposed to a lot of different people. And anything can happen. And I do have family members I worry about catching COVID-19 just because they are either immunocompromised or older, whether it's grandparents or, as a big example, we worry about my fiance's father, aka my future father-in-law. We worry about my mom, who's immunocompromised after having sepsis. So there's concerns we have in our family, but we also are creating like a zero contact policy with those people, just because we are living our life. And we are, doing things like going to movies. We're sending our kids out to school and everything. And we want to ensure that, now that the virus is striking close to home, that we're not taking, if we happen to have it, which we don't think we do, but there's also not a lot of test kits available, and it's very hard locally to get tested for it. You have to come down with what basically looks like the flu before they'll even test you for it, and then they test you for the flu and other things first, and then they'll test you for COVID-19. And we don't have severe enough symptoms in this house, even though you guys know I've had a cold now for, I don't know, a month or something. My symptoms never reached severity enough that they're willing to test me for it. So I could have it for all I know. So what we try to do is limit the exposure to our loved ones. And we hope that the rest of the world is kind of doing the same if they happen to have people that they think are susceptible to. As I said, we have a couple family members that we definitely don't want to have contact with, just in case, because we've been sick. Nothing serious. Everyone seems to be recovering. My son that had a fever and all that, he's recovering now and able to go back to school, and all of my kids seem to be getting healthier. And here's the thing, like, for those of us that are young and have strong immune systems, that's what happens. It passes us just like any other cold does. You get it, you get over it, and you move on with your life. But we obviously have family members that if we happen to have it, we will do what we need to do. But the thing is that just because I don't think that we should stop our lives doesn't mean that it doesn't impact our lives in some ways. Not wanting to spread it to certain loved ones or obviously little infant babies. There are things like the NBA season's now canceled. Or I shouldn't say canceled. It's postponed. It sounds like the initial plan is a 3 to 4 week delay. Basically just pushing the season back a month. And originally there was pushback on doing this because of TV contracts and money, but obviously everyone the world over is trying to be understanding that, hey, look, contracts be damned. We got to do what's best for the players. Obviously, it started with, an NBA player testing positive. I think there's now been 2 NBA players, maybe 3 now that have tested positive. I think all from the same team. But that obviously increases the highly likelihood that other referees and players and staff will be testing positive as well. And then for the most part, I'm not worried about the NBA players and whatever. Like, they're going to be fine. They're very healthy and have good immune systems because they're professional athletes, and you pretty much can't be one if you have a bad immune system. So yeah, they'll be fine. Literally, like a week from now, it'll be like nothing ever happened, and they'll be fine. And I think that's the big thing with the NBA, and that, it could just be a month delay, because if anyone who has it now will be cleared out in a month. And then literally they can go back to playing games, even if they don't let fans back in the stadium, or however they decide to deal with it. We'll see. But that obviously starts to impact my life, because I am entertained by sports. I'm entertained by watching NBA games and baseball games, and we have yet to see what baseball is going to do. I have a feeling they might push the start of their season back. Who knows? NHL, might cancel their season altogether. I don't know. But I do say, that you shouldn't stop living your life. You shouldn't, be afraid to go to the grocery store. You shouldn't be afraid to go, get stuff you need for your house. I'm not saying that you should go crazy. Like, if you're someone who likes to go to concerts and go to all these big events, I'm not saying that you should go to those. That might not be the smartest idea, but I'm also not saying to stop living your life. Like, if you're enrolled in school and your school has not gotten to the point where they are canceling school, keep going to school. Don't just the education's still important. You're probably going to be fine. Just be conscientious of any family members, especially if there's breakouts of it in your area, like they're starting to be in my area. Be conscientious of the people in your family that just because you're doing okay with it, or you might have been exposed, but then you're not getting sick. You could be a carrier. Just be conscientious not to go around, people in your family, or even people outside of your family that might potentially be harmed by this. Now, it's a little difficult in our house too, because my fiance, she she works at a group home, so she's actually around elderly people for work. And she's not, and she's literally at work today. So there's a little bit of, worrying about that. And their work takes all the proper precaution, lots of washing hands, make sure you don't touch your face while you work. Lots of hand sanitizer and wearing gloves for everything, and masks if people even have a little cough. But, if it spreads there, it spreads there. Because she's not the only, staff member there. There's other staff members there. We're hopeful that, if there is something in our house, it doesn't end up there. But again, we don't have strong enough symptoms in our house that they'll even test us for it. So we're pretty sure that we just have the basic cold and it's not a big deal. But I don't think you should just stop living your life. Just be safer about living your life. Wash your hands a little bit more often than you probably normally do. Wash it, before you leave the house. Wash it when you're out in public. If you're able to, you have to use a public restroom. Not a big deal. Don't be afraid to use the public restroom. Make sure you wash your hands. Maybe grab if you're super afraid, maybe grab like a cloth, or keep some hand sanitizer wipes on you. Or like disinfectant wipes to touch the public doorknob or whatever, to, just in case, people are kind of gross sometimes in the bathroom, don't wash their hands, but, whatever. That's just a general rule. I know sometimes I'm not as safe about it, but when something's going on like this, be safe. But again, don't stop living your life. Like, why did we go to a movie, yesterday instead of this weekend? There's less people at the movie theater. There was like 5 total people in the entire movie theater because we went on a Thursday night, or I'm sorry, a Wednesday night, which there's not going to be a lot of people. So we're still living our life. We just adjusted our life a little bit. Normally we would go on the weekend, but we're like, there'll be a lot of people there. We know that, this is starting to kind of break out there. We're going to limit our exposure and go when there's less people and there's less likely to be a problem. But again, I don't think you should stop living your life, even though parts of our life are going to be affected. There's going to be some of you guys that might be told you're working from home now. And all that jazz. And obviously, now's the time, if you don't have health insurance, to make sure you do have health insurance, just in case you do come down with it, that you can get some medical care, even if they don't seem to be doing a whole lot. Usually it's just basic stuff they would do, like, giving you IV fluids, stuff like that, getting your fever under control if you have one. They don't really do, from what I've been told by people that have it, because I know someone who has it, they don't really do much. They kind of just quarantined them into a room for a few days. And then as the symptoms went down, they deemed them as no longer contagious and then sent them home. I don't know how they know you're no longer contagious, since this is a new thing, but maybe it's because, the new blood work comes back, because it takes like 24 hours, 48 hours to get proper diagnosis back. So I don't know how they know, within 4 days or something, that you're suddenly not contagious anymore, but beats me. I also don't scientifically understand all of the advances happening every single day as they continue to study this and continue. I think New York is actually trying to pay people like $5,000 to get the coronavirus on purpose so they can use them basically as lab rats to test different things. And for people that overreacted to that, by the way, that happens all the time. How do you think medications are made? They pay people to be given certain diseases or certain things so they could test out cures for it. Now, there's some things they don't pay people for, certain cancers and all that, but things that are usually considered non-lethal and won't be lethal to you, such as this. You take a perfectly healthy, 25-year-old person and, give them, COVID-19, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine in a week. They'll literally be over in a week. So you're just being paid $5,000 to test out some new medication on it. Or to test out a potential vaccine to try to stop it. So people overreact to that sometimes. They get like, oh my God, the government's trying to give people, like, they're trying to find a cure. This is how you find a cure. You can't just rely on animals in a lab. You can't just literally give rats this stuff and just assume it's going to work on humans. You have to test it on humans. So that being said, take precautions, do the right thing. And what's crazy about this whole situation is Animal Crossing comes out next week Friday. And Animal Crossing is the kind of game where you're living a second life of sorts. You are building, your own little home. You're building your own little paradise this time around on an island, building up a whole town. And it's just like kind of like The Sims and Minecraft and stuff where you kind of get to decide some things for yourself. I know all three are very different kinds of games, even though they're kind of all, built for the casual crowd, but can be played hardcore, of course. And I think it kind of comes out at a good time because there's going to be a lot of people, there are certain states even that kids can't go to school right now because you can't have a gathering of more than 250 people. Like in Seattle has that. Other states are starting, because their breakouts become bigger and bigger. They're starting to ban public gatherings, which does include school. So I think it's actually coming out at a good time, especially here in the U.S., but I think worldwide, as this is now a pandemic and pretty much the whole world is dealing with it. I mean, you hear about Tom Hanks or whatever having it out in Australia. Clearly, it's been hitting Australia. I think that that it comes out at a good time because it's a game you can sink a lot of time into, and it's a good way to pass time. Because again, it takes for a normal healthy person, it takes about a week. It seems like to for the virus to run its course. You could still have lingering symptoms for a little bit, just like you can with any cold. Usually you get the worst of the cold, and then you just have lingering symptoms, which is what I've had for the last month. I've had like the lingering cough that comes a lot of times, worse at night than it is during the day. But I don't have the fever anymore. I don't, I'm not hacking up my lungs all day long. Sometimes you'll see me cough on live stream, but it's a pretty big rarity. I think that Animal Crossing is just like the perfect game to come out at this time. And it's funny because game sales haven't really been negatively impacted by this overall. Maybe physical game sales because people are afraid to go out in public. I don't know. But they've actually kind of been boosted because people are worried that they're going to be stuck in their home for months. While it's possible there could be that serious of a quarantine like they did in China where they just say you can't leave your home except for essential supplies. I don't think that's ever going to happen in the U.S., I don't think we're going to get to the point where we're going to say you can't leave your home except for essential supplies. I think they're just going to cancel public gatherings everywhere for a while until it looks like the numbers are decreasing, which means the virus is either contained and or because it's getting warmer out, these cold viruses tend to die out as things get warmer. And it is spreading in places that are warmer per se, but it's still cold for that area. Because it's still winter. Like in California, when you're getting in the 60s and 70s and you're just like, oh yeah, like, compared to here, that's like our summers. Out there, that's kind of cold. And then when they get up to their 80s and 90s and they're in the middle of summer, get up to the hundreds, these viruses tend to tend out. They usually don't survive in the heat like that. So, and we get that way in Wisconsin too. We get up in the 90s and stuff in the summer. So, I think it'll die out. In, I don't know, what are we in? March, April, May, probably somewhere around May. That's usually when things really start to finally start feeling like summer. You start to get, around here up into the 70s and 80s some days. I think that's about the time, this virus will kind of really slow down in the United States. So Animal Crossing coming out at a good time. I think a lot of people are going to be able to sink a lot of hours in because they won't be able to go to school. There'll be people who won't be able to go to work or they're working from home and they can't work as much because, everyone's on different schedules. And usually if you're working from home, it means you work a desk job anyways or something. And it's sometimes hard to coordinate everything. So, Major League Soccer apparently just suspended their season. Not too surprising. This is what happens, especially in, a contact sport. A lot of sports are going to have to suspend their seasons for a while because, you're in close contact with other players while you play. So, again, don't stop living your lives. That's always my message with this is don't stop living your lives. Just, keep playing your video games, keep doing whatever, if I touch my face, it's whatever. I'm at home, whatever I've been exposed to today is literally whatever I've been exposed to in my home since I took my shower. And I'll wash up later and wash my hands and wash my face and just be extra precautious, but keep living your life. And maybe if you are worried that you have been exposed, like I do worry because my children go to school, I went to a movie, all that stuff. Just maybe distance yourself from certain family members until this seems to be more under control. So yeah, that's really all I have to say. But hey, Animal Crossing's coming out, and it's going to be awesome. I'm going to see what some people had to say in the chat, plus read off your guys' names as I go here. So let's just say thank you for everyone who's here. Morrison22, thank you for being here. Segwin the Pikachu fan as well. Mr. Pete 1985. Shrek memes. That's a new one. I think that's the first time I've seen you in a stream. Welcome. Let me see here. Corey Bohm is here as well. Wanted to talking about Ruby Gobert needs to be banned from the NBA. I don't think Ruby Gobert needs to be banned, but we'll get into that in a little bit if you want to talk about that later, Corey. Doc Forever is here. Let's see here. Clayton Saint CYR. live for the first time in a bit. Yeah, I had to play the old theme song there. Let's see here. Sanguine the Pikachu fan. Timothy Lay is here. Let's see here. Sonic Man the Best. Mitchell Clybourne is here. Dason31 is here. I'm doing pretty good, man. Clayton said he was on a bus alone this morning. Happens. Super Mosh 1990 is here. Let's see here. Slain is here. Ninko Cobra is here. Let's see here. Anyone else new here? I think that's everyone. I think I shouted out everyone in the chat anyways. Yeah, I think it's kind of crazy that people are like stocking up on water and toilet paper, of all things. Like, I could see why why hand sanitizer ran out, why maybe disinfectant wipes could run out or something. Which, by the way, for some reason disinfectant wipes aren't running out. I don't know why. Like, people run out of toilet paper before we run out of disinfectant wipes. That's weird. Like, people are really over exaggerating. Like, yes, it could last this could last for months in the U.S., right? Just like it did in China. China's finally on the decline, by the way. For those who aren't aware, like, latest update, for like the epicenter of where this all started, China's on the decline. They're basically in recovery mode, and by the end of this month, I think they're resuming their own basketball season and stuff like this. So, like, China's on the decline and in recovery. So, like, why people are overstocking on certain supplies like that are interesting to me. They're treating it almost like we're about to have to go underground, and we're not. So, and if you get it in your house and you get it yourself, it's only about a week. So, 2 weeks at the most. People are just over exaggerating. This is what happens. Yeah. People panic, buy a bunch of supplies for things that don't really help them. Like, okay, toilet paper. Let's see here. No, we're not going on lockdown and stopping the toilet paper. Moon Man Moo is here. Game Dave is here. Sab Vaquez is here. Just left the supermarket for lunch. Absolute Zoo. Yeah. Rite Aid. Yeah. Closing in California, I heard. Sounds like Italy is on lockdown for 6 weeks. Yeah. Well, Italy, their healthcare system was not prepared for any epidemic, period. And I know it's a pandemic now worldwide, but at the time it was an epidemic. And they were just, their healthcare system was just not prepared for jack squat. Granted, the U.S. healthcare system is arguably not prepared either. But we're better prepared than Italy is, so. Even if in my state, if there ends up being like, 50,000 cases or whatever, I'm still not really gonna panic about it. 99% probably of those 50,000 cases are gonna be fine. Like I said, it's literally a type of cold virus. It's not the flu. It's not necessarily pneumonia. It can lead to pneumonia, but it's not necessarily pneumonia. It's more like a cold virus. For those who don't know, COVID viruses are basically all cold viruses. COVID-19 is just the 19th strain of cold virus that we've discovered. And so there'll probably never be an official cure for it. Just like there isn't for the common cold. But there will be certain medications that can reduce things and stuff like that comes out. A vaccine, I know some people hope for a vaccine. I don't know if a vaccine will ever exist, to be honest. I know they're trying to fast track one that potentially might help, but it's kind of like the flu. You can get the flu shot every year, but you can still get the flu. So it is what it is. I got a text here. Saw it happen. My fiance texted me from work. Someone fell, so she has to write a report. Can you imagine having to live underground because of an epidemic? There are certain things that living underground I can see for, like if there's a nuclear war or something like that. But I'm not as worried about this. As I said, people should just go about living their normal lives and just be more cautious about everything. I've said it a million times. Make sure you wash your hands more often. Use hand sanitizer if you're out in public. If you're like gonna go to the the supermarket or whatever, wipe. Bring a hand sanitizing wipe with or whatever, or whatever. Like wipe down your cart a little bit before you use it. Make sure you don't touch your face while you're there, until you wash your hands again. Here's the thing, like, I get the not touching your face, so that's how you transfer stuff. But if you wash your hands and then you're touching your face after, it's usually not a big deal until you're in contact with people again. And again, as far as we're aware, this is not airborne. So you have to have direct contact. So someone has to, like, cough on you or, like, have it on their hands or have it on stuff they touched. So while it's spreading quickly, it's also somewhat easy to not transfer it to yourself in a way if you're just more cautious about things. As an example, people are all mad at Rudy Gobert because he was kind of joking about the coronavirus and definitely not being cautious and over exaggerating how uncautious he was by touching all of the mics and all the stuff at a press conference on Monday. There's like a report out there that he was also touching a lot of players' things in the locker room on purpose, intentionally. But that report seems uncorroborated. And this came out when Donovan Mitchell was just tested positive for coronavirus in the Utah Jazz. But that report seems completely uncorroborated, and there are other players that already came out and said that he wasn't doing that. He only did that for that media session because people were, exaggerating it a little bit. And so then he over-exaggerated in the opposite direction. Which is not the right thing to do either. You shouldn't this is a real thing that's happening, folks. Don't exaggerate in either way, right? Just be a little bit extra precautious and live your life. Climate change. By the time climate change puts us underground, none of us will be here. So the pathway on quote unquote climate change and the world getting too hot or whatever, we're honestly going to hit an ice age before then. Yeah. What are you going to do? So this isn't Animal Crossing. Well, the entire point of this conversation, and it's already been brought up before Rumscarum, is because of everything going on, Animal Crossing is coming out at the perfect time. You're able to play Animal Crossing at a time when a lot of us are going to be at home. A lot of us aren't going to be able to work on normal hours at work as extra precautions are taken. Or, if you're not going to be able to go out to concerts or go out to sporting events because all the sporting events are being canceled. I'm waiting on the announcement for March Madness. I can't believe that hasn't been canceled yet. All of that's going on, and with everything going on because of this, Animal Crossing is coming out at the perfect time. It's a great time waster. Now, of course, it's not everyone's cup of tea, and you can waste your time playing Call of Duty Warzone or something if you want, or any number of games, to be honest. Tackle your back catalog. But, yeah, it is what it is. I can't find hand soap anywhere. Yeah, it's not as bad in my area, but as the cases increase, it will be harder and harder to find hand soap. Thankfully, I have like a giant tub. It's not the greatest quality hand soap, but it's not the greatest quality in terms of it doesn't smell the greatest, but it works. I have a huge thing of hand soap, so I'm not worried about that. We have, I have these disinfectant wipes here. Keep them right here in my office. Usually when I'm done at work for the day, I'll shut down the computer, and I'll just wipe down the keyboard and even the microphone, the desk a little bit, my monitors, and, the camera. Although I don't think I've wiped down the camera in a bit, so maybe I'll do that today. Anything that I touch, just in case I happen to have it right now, and I, don't want to re-give it to myself later if that's even possible, or give it to my kids. So just wipe everything down, about once a day. But it's not, my office isn't like super clean or anything, so I'm not too worried about just things I touch regularly. I should probably wipe down the mixer, but I hear you. If no life this game, you run out of things to do for the day in a few hours. Animal Crossing, because there's terraforming now. Rumscare. So I think this game's gonna have more to do than people realize. We use leaves and seashells. Oh man, farming and selling fruits for bells and New Horizons. Maybe in the future, humanity can find another planet to live on. I mean, that's always the goal. I think that's what we're trying to do, is find another planet to live on, although it doesn't appear to be in our solar system. But we'll see. Yeah, basically, the general message is that Animal Crossing can help pass the time. And because it's like the kind of the perfect game to pass the time with, if you're into that kind of game, of course. Just because it's a good game to pass the time with doesn't mean everyone's going to enjoy it. I got a lot of back catalog games to play myself, too, so technically I already have Animal Crossing New Horizons installed, or whatever that download was when I entered in the digital code, because I bought the 3 copies, 2 for a giveaway, 1 for myself, and it already installed the game, apparently. Supposedly. It was a pretty big download, so it's crazy. The game's basically ready. We're just waiting a week before it checks online and says, oh, you can play now. I feel like Nintendo delayed the Direct this year because of Animal Crossing coming out, so they felt like they didn't need to have any other game until June. I don't think Animal Crossing had anything to do with a delay in a Direct. They've never had a major delay in a Direct because they have another game coming out. A Direct isn't going to distract from Animal Crossing sales, just like it wouldn't distract from Breath of the Wild sales, or it didn't distract from Super Mario Odyssey sales. It's not going to distract from sales. I think the entire reason it was delayed is literally this virus. This virus has caused everything else in the world to be delayed, so why wouldn't it cause a Direct to be delayed? You got to remember, this virus has been going on out in Asia for a lot longer than it's been going on here. So, yeah, pretty sure the Direct delay, which clearly looks like there was a delay, which now we think is coming in a couple weeks here, was because of this virus. Plain and simple. People they wanted to be in the Direct, or things they wanted, or work they wanted done on certain games to be ready for the Direct, they had to send employees home and all this stuff, so it kind of just didn't work out. But now they've had additional time to get things prepared for it. It's probably going to be ready to go right after Animal Crossing comes out, which is still good timing for Nintendo, because after Animal Crossing comes out, everyone's like, well, what's next? See, for Sony, they have a couple games, Ghost of Tsushima and some other stuff coming out, but really everyone's like, oh, we're just waiting for PlayStation 5 details, and we know that's coming this year. We know, Xbox Series X is coming this year. So it's like, even if we don't hear game news for games for those systems, it's like, oh, but we know it's coming, coming later. Whereas Nintendo, it's like, we don't know really what's coming after Animal Crossing from Nintendo, at least for new games. So, if anyone is looking for something to play before Animal Crossing, dude, World of Warcraft is a massive time killer. Massive. I've thought about re-upping my sub to World of Warcraft next week when I get paid, because, here's the thing. I have a lot of games to play already on Switch, but I love me some World of Warcraft, man. It's such a good game. Maybe I'll live stream it again someday. You guys remember when I live streamed World of Warcraft 2 years ago? It was a lot of fun. Now that I cover a bit more than Nintendo on the channel, it's a little more justifiable to stream World of Warcraft, but we'll see. I haven't played it in a while, so. Have you seen / heard about the indie game After Party? It looks super lit to me. What indie game after? It's an indie game called After Party indie game. I have not heard about this. And remember, if you guys have any questions for me in the chat, be sure to ping me at Nintendo Prime in the chat. Makes it pop out more. We can talk about anything. We don't have to sit here and just talk about Animal Crossing and being able to play it during this, this virus stuff. After Party. It got an 80% by PC Gamer. Adventure title by Night School Studio for Mac OS, PlayStation 4, Windows, Xbox One, Switch. It's upcoming March. Just looking at some screenshots here. I like the art style. Looks kind of cool. I don't really know much about it, though, so I can't really comment on it too much. What's up, Corvin? Corvin Ciata. Welcome. Oh, I should let you know, I'm not 100% sure if the podcast is happening tonight. Eric is sick. He's really feeling really sick. So there's that. And I haven't had a chance to talk to 5J yet. Anyway, I could just do a podcast of me and 5J, but I really like having at least 3 people. So I might push the podcast back a day again, but we'll see. I'm not 100% sure. And I just know at this point the status of the podcast tonight is I don't know. It's up in the air. Don't know what's going to happen. All right, 1 second. I gotta call my fiance back here. I'll play some music for you guys. You know what's gonna get played.
My neighbors ask me why I'm limping down the way, and who that fellow was who came by yesterday. I quickly turn my face before I start to blush, 'cause frankly there is nothing I can say. Down, down, down. I've always had a thing for pushing the extremes, and I just got a thing you won't find in the magazines. This molded silicone has got me begging, please give me more of what I really need, 'cause there is no cock like horse cock. Send your asshole into shock. You need horse cock, of course cock. Grab the lube and slam the day away. My shaft is quivering and my balls are turning blue as I think of drinking in a foot or even two of my favorite stallion that I keep in my top drawer. Slip it in and I'll be dripping goo as I take more cock, horse cock. Shut the door and turn the lock. Is your cock a horse cock? You will never hear me saying nay, 'cause there is no cock like horse cock. Rub my dick inside a sock. Don't stop now, horse cock. Stretch out my insides and make me bray. My lovely horse cock, horse cock. Shoot the doop dup 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 down on a horse cock, my horse cock. Yeah, da 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 da. Da 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 da. Yeah, da 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 da. Yeah, da 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 da. My neighbors ask me why I'm limping down the way, and who that fellow was who came by yesterday. I quickly turn my face before I start to blush, 'cause frankly there is nothing I can say. Down, down, down. I've always had a thing for pushing the extremes, and I just got a thing you won't find in the magazines. This molded silicone has got me begging, please give me more of what I really need, 'cause there is no cock like horse cock. Send your asshole into shock. You need horse cock, of course cock. Grab the lube and slam the day away. My shaft is quivering and my balls are turning blue as I think of drinking.
All right, I'm back. Good thing I muted the right thing, because I forgot to mute it on. I forgot to mute mute my mic on OBS here, but I figured out how to. On my mixer, I turned the mic off, so thank God I remembered to do that. That would have been a very interesting. That would have been a very interesting stream. If I had that whole personal phone call conversation happen. Let me see here. Nintendo put a video on their YouTube for After Party. Okay, I'll have to watch that later, Corey. Eric has COVID-19. I don't think he does, but I don't know. I mean, I'm at him right now. I think he's at work right now, to be honest, but I don't know. He thinks it might just be his anxiety, so he took his anxiety meds. He's letting me know later. Basically, if he thinks he's okay, then we'll do the podcast. If he's not, then we won't. That's basically the story for right now, because I don't have any other guests lined up. Podcast will happen this week. It's just I might push it to tomorrow. So even if he can't be on tomorrow, I'll have more time to find someone to replace him. Isn't everything up in the air these days? Pretty much. It feels like everything's up in the air these days. We need more games than ever to distract us from. Yep. That's why I'm glad that like E3, although it's canceled, they're still going to have all these digital events. So we're still going to get a ton of game announcements and new trailers, and it's going to be awesome. So we're still going to have like a celebration of gaming basically in a week span. That's going to be great. So I can't wait for that. Or COVID simulator. Well, there already is. There was that one virus game that was banned in China because, oh my gosh, because of the COVID breakout, because it's so realistic to how breakouts happen. It's like, okay, that's not gonna make the breakout worse just because people are playing a game that lets you infect the world. Still playing Three Houses. Nice. I haven't played that yet. So Anthony Chipmunk, how's it going? You guys love that song, huh? Love the horse cock. There's no cock like horse cock. Burr, 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 burr. Can't unhear the song. No problem. That song should be humming in your head all day long. Just probably don't sing it out loud in public. Then again, you might be out in public in some areas and there's no one else around. So, who likes Horse Winnie? Wait, what just happened? Did the stream restart? No, I don't have a. I need to make a be right back thing. I don't have a be right back thing set up right now for when I need to step away for a personal reason. I should probably make one of those eventually here. All I had was the starting soon thing. I didn't. I need to make a be right back one. I don't know. Someone on Twitter contacted me who might be helping me make a new stream layout and all that jazz. And in there, maybe I'll include, hey, can we get like some like a be right back thing I can put up, like that's slightly animated or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. The song is disturbing. The song is just funny. You don't take it serious. It's just a fun song. That's all it's supposed to be. It's just supposed to be fun. It's just all a joke. In case you didn't know, it's about a dildo. It's not about an actual dick. Let's see here. Anthony Chipmunk. Oh, jeez. There went any monetization of this video. Surprisingly, all of the streams that I have played that in are still monetized. So, if monetization goes away, it doesn't go away entirely. It just turns into, only mature content can be shown on this stream. It has Animal Crossing in the title. And that song was already played. Literally, that song is played at the beginning of every live stream. Like right before the camera turns to me, I play that song on every live stream. So, what does Yulia think of the horse song? She doesn't like it. She doesn't hate it. She just doesn't like it. She's not really into songs like that. You prefer Dick Lips by Blink-182. Jeez. You guys got any other questions? I've got about 15 minutes here. Then I have to go because my youngest son gets off the bus in about a half hour here. And I got to be outside early in case the bus shows up early. So, you guys got anything else? Anything else you would like to talk about? Anything at all? Going once, going twice. No, I'm just kidding. I'll give you guys a moment to get some questions in, and I'll just glance around at some gaming news or something. Mm-hmm. Corey Bone is obviously popping in. One question. There really wasn't any stream lag, unless there's lag for you. Hold on, we got some. You're like the real Big Chungus. Sure, that's what you want to call me. Let's see here. Will you be doing a New Horizons live stream? There'll be at least one. There'll be at least one New Horizons live stream. I will be streaming it on launch day because I will be giving away another copy of Animal Crossing New Horizons during that launch stream. So on the 20th, that Friday, I will be doing a stream of Animal Crossing New Horizons at some point. Maybe if it launches at midnight, maybe later, however it works out for me, I will be doing one, and I'll be giving away a copy of the game during that stream. I don't know if I'm going to stream it again after that. We'll see. I know I am going to do an update video at some point showing, hey, let me introduce you to my island, and you can see what I did. I don't expect my island to be that impressive compared to other people's islands, but that's okay. I'm going to have a good time with it and make the island I want to make and show you guys that, and then I'll ask you guys to maybe, to show me, screenshots or images or whatever of your island. Or if you guys want to share your islands, down in the comments on that video or whatever, I know I'm going to make an update video on that. But there'll be at least one stream, and that will be on launch day. We'll see if I stream it again after that. Are your kids going to use your island in New Horizons? No, they will not. My kids aren't allowed to touch my Switch, so that is a big hell no. And I'm not inviting them to my island. Nope, my island will be my island. Maybe every now and I don't know. Maybe I can make it if people really care. Maybe I can make it something on Patreon where, like, if someone at $10 or whatever on Patreon.com wants to be part of my island, you could be part of my island. I don't know. I don't want to. I kind of want my island to be my own, but if I'm going to invite anyone to it, it's probably just going to be like a certain Patreon tier. And I don't know if I really want to make Patreon tiers for that, but we'll see. Because you can have, 7 other people on your island? So we'll see. $50 tier per month for you to be on my island. God. Am I getting the Lego sets? I want to get them, but I think the most expensive one's $100, but I don't know. I don't know yet. They're going to be sold out, so I don't know. Probably eventually. Remember to come back and comment after the stream ends. Yes, if you would like an additional entry into the Animal Crossing New Horizons giveaway, after the stream ends, come back to the stream, leave a comment down below. Make sure you like the stream, subscribe, all that stuff. Because the application I'm using to tally entries goes through the comments. And on the comments, it can tell me if you like the video, and it can tell me if you're subscribed and hit the bell icon. It gives me all the information on your interaction with my channel and that video. So you have to comment, or I literally can't count you because I can't see if you did all the things necessary to enter. What e-begging? That's funny. I'm probably not even going to do it. Like, I kind of want the island to be my own. But it's funny when I mention, if I mention ever anything about money, everyone just automatically jumps to e-begging. I didn't even say a Patreon tier exists for it. I didn't say that one was going to exist for it. Just because I have a Patreon. It doesn't matter what you do on the internet, man. It really doesn't matter. If anyone gives you a cent, it's considered e-begging, so. I haven't even mentioned in this stream as an example. I guess I'll mention it now, and now it'll be called e-begging. You could super chat or donate to request songs to play during the stream. I guess I'm e-begging now because I mentioned that, even though no one ever takes advantage of it. If I am I did some e-begging last year, and it's funny. When I did some actual e-begging, it worked. But now, like, when I don't, and I just mention, oh, you can, do this if you want to get a song played. You can support us on Patreon. None of it's you have to. There's no guilt tripping. I don't really get any donations or super chats. And I don't care. I still do the streams anyways, so. Doesn't matter what you do on the internet, man. Everything's e-begging these days. The game looks amazing. Dr. Prime. Did you know someone is making their own version called Hoko Life? Their own version of what? Dr. Prime is a patron. I do have a patron. I do have 32 patrons, I think. Triforce from Empire Arcadia is an e-bagger, huge difference. I don't really want to get into what's e-bagging and what's not e-bagging. I think it's hilarious. Anyone who does anything makes money for it is always considered an e-bagger. It's just how it goes. I should say anyone that makes money, but it's anyone that makes money off other people donating or super chatting or whatever. It is what it is. I really don't care. You guys can call it what you want. I'm not sitting here trying to guilt trip anyone into doing anything. If people want to donate in super chat, cool. If they don't, cool. I mean, it's nice to have that support, and I appreciate it, but doesn't expect it. I think like this total year we've had 0 donations through the donation link in 2020, and we've had 5 super chats, and like 3 of them are from Corey, and he's usually just trying to get my attention. So like, I don't really get super chats or donations anymore, and it's all right. Oh, a version of Animal Crossing called Hoko Life. I'd rather people drop their Patreon than say, smash that like button down below. Make sure to ring that bell to get notified of every upcoming video. Every YouTuber says that too, including me. But here's the thing, like we can always say, you know, hey, why don't you go support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Nintendo Prime, or like we could do all that, but none of that gets us more views on our videos. See, the whole reason we talk about, you know, hitting that like button, hit the bell icon, subscribe, the whole reason we push things like that is because that's what actually grows the channel and grows organic revenue versus relying on subjective revenue, which subjective revenue is basically people who donate or join your Patreon. It's usually unreliable income. You can't guarantee that people want to support you or want to super chat. That there was a time 2 years ago, this YouTube channel used to get a ton of donations and super chats. A ton of them. Like, I mean, there was a record up on my board once of $750 that I got in one night of a live stream. Crazy. I know people like Player Essence get hundreds of dollars every time he streams. That's why he streams every single day, because he gets so much money from the streams. He'd be crazy not to. So he gets all the, 200 plus viewers a stream, all this money every stream. Of course he's going to keep streaming. But the thing is I was like that like 2 years ago. And that income is super unreliable. And eventually it's going to stop. So you should watch the Hoko Life trailer. All right. Thank you so much, Pokemon Go San Diego. We'll put up the Hoko Life trailer if it's not too long. Let me see here. Hoko Life trailer. Announced a month ago. Here, we'll use the official Hoko Life YouTube channel. Let me turn the volume down on it here. Put it on the screen. Let's full screen this. Put this on the screen, display capture. All right, yeah, we'll watch this together. The supposed Animal Crossing game, inspired game. It's even got the train. In the world of Hoko. Oh yeah, this has severe Animal Crossing vibes. Expand the town. You even got the animals. Yep. Custom couch. This is definitely like a straight Animal Crossing ripoff. You can farm a little bit. Okay, pattern designer. I mean, the game looks pretty good, especially for like an indie game. Fish. I'm just gonna go up to Hoko Life. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's a straight up Animal Crossing ripoff. A pretty good one though. Looks like it's got 110,000 views on the trailer. Comments are turned off because it's got 2,000 likes and 2.2 thousand dislikes. Because people are gonna be mad that it's such a ripoff. Anything that it looks like such a blatant ripoff like that always gets hated. But I think it looks pretty good. I mean, for an indie title that's a ripoff, it looks all right. This is the most misinformation I've heard in a long time. What are we talking about, Pain Fat? What are we talking about? That game is a ripoff? What exactly are we talking about, Pain Fat? I have no idea what you're referencing. I was just literally watching a Hoko Life trailer, so there's a stream delay, of course. Temtem's copied Pokemon. Sure did. There's nothing wrong with that. Popular games get copied all the time. Like, how many different types of Candy Crush games are there out there? How many different types of Flappy Bird? How many different types of even like Zelda games exist? How many different types of FPS games exist? Like, games are always copying each other. Now there's a whole bunch of battle royale games. Like, that's just what happens. Games copy each other all the time. Talking about how little it looked like Animal Crossing. It looked exactly. Yeah, it looked really similar to Animal Crossing. It looked really. That's the thing. It looked that similar, but like it definitely was different. Like they weren't the same assets and everything. So definitely were unique assets. It's just a very, very good copy, a very well-made copy of Animal Crossing. Not an exact copy too. It looked like there's some features like the farming and stuff that was kind of new. All my fantasy basketball team people are now like freaking out because the season's delayed because we can't continue our fantasy basketball season until the NBA season resumes. I wonder what's going to happen in fantasy basketball for my teams if the season got canceled. Candy Crush was a copy as well. Yep, it just repopularized an existing game style that people kind of forgot about. Animal Crossing deserves its own genre. I suppose I can share that again. I don't really share this very often. I don't know why. We have a public channel on our Discord. The rest of the Discord's private and exclusive to Patreon or YouTube members. Technically Twitch Prime members as well, even though we don't stream on Twitch. But we have a public channel anyone can join. Join our public. I should probably make a bot that does this. I know, like, what's his name? Player Essence has a bot. You just type a command out, and it'll do things like join the Discord, or remember to donate here, or do this, or do that. Blah 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 blah. Do I still play New Leaf? Nope, not anymore. I don't even own a 3DS anymore. What do you want from New Horizons that you aren't expecting to happen? I want to be able to put a giant museum-like aquarium wall in my house. I want to be able to take a wall of my house and make it a giant aquarium that I could put sharks in or something. Yes, I want to build a villain room. And I don't think it's going to let me do that. Maybe a tiny little fish aquarium, but I don't think it's going to let me do one of those giant wall aquariums like we see in the museum. Animal Crossing is a life sim, pretty much. And there's different types of life simulators. Like, obviously, The Sims is a very different type of life simulator than Animal Crossing is, but it's all kind of the same category. What's my favorite official soundtrack from a Nintendo game? Says Gashley Crumb. My favorite official soundtrack. That's a very loaded question. There are so many good soundtracks. I mean, I'm always impartial to Zelda, and the Wind Waker soundtrack really stands out to me. I love the Wind Waker soundtrack. I really like Super Mario Galaxies, like Galaxy 1's soundtrack a lot too. I'm gonna just go with one of those two as my favorite. But there's so many good. Like, I remember every song from Ocarina of Time as an example because they're all really catchy. But I think I enjoy the Wind Waker soundtrack better, and I know I enjoy Galaxy's soundtrack better than Ocarina of Time. Let me see here. I played it at PAX East. Even watched the Nintendo Minute panel. I uploaded it. Oh, you played Animal Crossing New Horizons? Nice. Did you ever send your AC character from GameCube to the GBA island? Nope. I did. I was trying to think if I played Animal Crossing on GBA. I did, but I did not. I did not send it to the GBA island. I'll take The Sims over Harvest Moon, but Animal Crossing is my ideal life sim. Wind Waker's an amazing one. Yeah, dude. I love Wind Waker's soundtrack. Stardew Valley is a great game. Yeah. Stardew Valley is a lot more Harvest Moon sometimes than even Harvest Moon is at times. The vocal theme song from Fates. Yeah, it's pretty good. Plus, there's all the Smash. Like, can't you just default and say Super Smash Bros. Ultimate because it has like so many songs, so many great songs from so many different games? So clearly, my favorite soundtrack is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate because there's the sheer amount of music from across all of the different games. Like a lot of my favorite music's also in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But does that count? Can Smash really count as its own soundtrack when so much of it is just other games' music? Even if it's been reworked a little bit, it's still other games' music put into the game because their characters are in the game. I had that link cable, man, because I played 4 Swords, baby. I did 4 Swords, 4-player multiplayer, baby. All day long, every day. I had 4 link cables and 4 GBAs in my house, specifically because of 4 Swords. That's how big of a Zelda nerd I am. They could come out with Breath of the Wild 2 and tell me I need 8 Pro controllers to play 8-player Zelda in my house. I will do it. I will go out and buy Pro controller exclusive. So I'll go out and buy 8 $70 controllers just so I can play 8-player Zelda in my house one time that I could even get 8 people in my house to play it. I have to call on every person I know because I don't know that many people that would be willing to come over. All right, I got to go. My son's going to get off the bus here in a minute. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Love you guys. It's been real. I'll catch you in the next live stream.